Hey guys, I wanted to do my makeup today, but I was having such a hard time talking while doing my makeup. So I did my makeup. It's pretty simple, so I'm just gonna talk about what I'm going through right now. Now that 2024 is over, I'm so ready for something new. It's almost January 5th already. I don't know where the time is going. January is trying to go somewhere. I just feel like I'm going through a transition in my life right now. I have such high hopes for 2025. I'm leaving being a child behind. I'm finally experiencing what it is like to be a young adult. I've had an ego death before one time when I took shrooms. I don't feel lost or anything. I don't feel scared. I know that I'm just going through a transitional period of my life. And seeing girls going through the same thing that I was going through at 18, it's bizarre to me. I was definitely the type of girl that thought they were grown at 18. As soon as I turned 18, I was like, whoa, I'm an adult now. I'm 18 now. Let me just go crazy. Let me enjoy my freedom. I was hanging around people that I wasn't supposed to be hanging around. It was just not the me I am right now. I'm not saying that I was a bad person or I'm ashamed of who I was before, but I just feel like if I had continued the path I went down, I would have been a completely different person. You would have not seen this right here. It would have just not worked out for me at all. As I'm having all these experiences, I just kind of realized that nobody taught me what being an adult was supposed to be. All my life, I thought that being an adult was freedom, and I thought being an adult would mean that I would suddenly not be able to do what I want to do. I was just completely unprepared. It's just very hard to transition as a woman from being a little girl into being an adult, and I feel like it's because we're just actually not prepared for what adulthood is. Nobody taught me how to save, how to get a job, how to apply for a loan. I generally thought that being an adult would mean I have love, I have a kid, I have a house and a car, but I just had no idea how I would even get to that point. I was having this problem as a kid where I had all these hopes and dreams and all these things I wanted to do, but I felt stuck because I did not know how to transition. The problem with living that way is that you kind of stifle your children. Just wish somebody had told me, you can get a car, you can get a boyfriend, but you have to build yourself up first. Before I moved to Florida, I was in New York and I never had to look at myself because I was very comfortable. First time I came to Florida, I came because my mom had recently met her boyfriend. My sister had her own apartment, and it was just easier for me to stay with my grandma and my grandpa. I immediately had a boyfriend and I had a job, so I never really had to think about who I was as a person. That relationship ended up being a horrible relationship. I got my heart broken. I kind of start to feel ashamed of myself. How could that relationship work out? I was not a good person. I was expecting all this love, but I wasn't actually giving love out to people because I was not a real person and I did not know who I was. I ended up having to be in a bad relationship. And when I left, I realized, how could I expect that relationship to work out when nothing else was working out for me? I was not dedicated or happy at my job, even though I was getting paid a lot. My home was messy and horrible. I just actually had no foundation, and as a kid I never realized that to be an adult you actually need help and you need a foundation. New York is completely different from Florida, but it's the people. The environment is different too, but I just feel like the people are so different. I feel like the people in Florida care about money, looks, they care about the appearance, where I feel like people in New York already have the appearance. So I don't feel like we have the same, we don't have the same struggles. The people in the city and the people in Florida do not have the same struggles because there's just so much help in New York. There's just so much help in New York. So to come to a state where I didn't have a car, I wasn't getting like the help I needed. Like I generally had to do everything on my own. It was just really, really jarring. About 5 months passed by. My sister ends up moving to Florida, and I'm having all these different life experiences. So now I'm back with my mom. I'm in a new state. I'm meeting all these different people that I am not used to interacting with, and they have different values than me. I was basically forced to stare at myself. So 2024 was my second year in Florida. Got over my breakup, I moved houses like 3-4 times. Like the more I started fitting in, or the more I started getting used to Florida, I feel like the more the state tried to push me out. I lost myself because I started to feel like, who am I? If I really had nothing right now, would I still love myself? So it just really started getting to me because I just felt like I had nothing. Because in Florida, you really, really have to do everything yourself, especially if you don't have a car. Like even moving states is hard, but I was also moving a lot in Florida. I started seeing how different people live their life and what people actually have. It was super, super freaky to not know who you are, and I felt like a shell of myself. I felt like a shell of myself because that's what makes us human, right? Is our friends, our family, our goals. It was really hard for me, and I was just really forced to stare at myself. But when I stared at myself, I wasn't angry because I started to like who I was. I just went from being like the type of person that was looking for friends and validation to being a person that could validate myself. And it's also given me comfort to be able to accept my past self and my present self and my future self. And I'm ready for what's to come and who I'm going to become. I know life is not easy for anyone, but it's even harder when you feel alone. And that's kind of why I am the way I am now. I think it takes a lot to be yourself. And I think it also takes more to accept and forgive yourself and move on. I was living for other people. I started allowing myself to just be myself and accepting where I was in my life, right? I just did not feel ashamed anymore. I generally feel like to get out of an ego death, you just have to let go. I could literally have nothing, but I have my character. As long as you know who you are, you know your boundaries and what you accept from other people, and you know where you're going, you will never be lost. The path I would have ended up at, it would have been a path people wanted for me. But when I actually embraced myself and just let go of everything, like what, fuck it, I don't care if I don't have a job, I don't care how I look, I don't care if anybody doesn't like me. When I really started thinking like that, I feel like my whole life actually changed. I also realized, I'm not for everybody. There will be people who don't like me, and there will be things that are difficult. Life is just pretty much difficult for everyone, you know what I mean? When I was going through all that and I felt completely alone, I just wish I had somebody tell me that I'm not alone. That is just a transition. I feel like you have to take what you already have and who you were and like love them, because I feel like in the past that's all I wanted. Like loving yourself is just the structure you have. We actually need to be telling little girls, like you can get everything you want, but you have to like build up to it. If I had kept going the way I went, I would have had what I wanted, but it would just not be really what I wanted. The way I was trying to get it, it would just not last. It was not a good foundation. Everything I went to in 2024 actually helped me grow. And now that it's January 5th, I hope this year doesn't give me any more growing. I'm an actual person with actual goals and dreams and stuff, and it's just gonna take time. It was just such a big transition from me that it kind of transitioned my whole personality. And now I'm my old self, but I'm also allowing space for myself to grow. And all of the mistakes I made in the past, it kind of just like infused itself with my ego. I'm trying so hard to be normal and to be an adult and to be grown when I was already that. I didn't have to completely change myself and heal and all of that. I'm already healed. I'm already whole as I am. When you go through something difficult, at the end of that, you're gonna become a different person and you're gonna love who you are more more than the person you lost. And if you feel like you lost your identity, it's gonna come back and you're gonna grow and you're gonna become a whole different person. And I just love that so much. The last thing I want to say is, like, I heard this somewhere, but it's so hard to be normal. I don't think anybody is normal. It's hard to be normal, but it's really easy to be yourself. And I love that. And that's what I try to live by. It's easy to be yourself. Anything goes wrong, like shit, I was just being myself. But if I was trying to be normal, I would actually feel so slighted. I would feel so slighted if I wasn't accepted. Could have just been myself if you weren't gonna accept me or love me either way. Like, it doesn't matter if it's friends, it doesn't matter if it's family, people will come. It doesn't matter what you think you lost or what you think you're lacking, because it's probably not true and you already have it and you're gonna be fine. I think the world is just going through like a major growth, and I'm actually pretty happy about that, to be honest. But yeah, it's way easier being yourself, even though you might be a little weird or different. Bye.